pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Thank you everyone for coming this evening. First item of business is approval of the May 2nd business session minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next up, approval of the bills list. And there are a couple things on there.
Yeah, we added, today we got pay requests for the spray park, so the check was issued for Golden Rule for $13,300, something like that, and then a check was also issued to Universal Construction for the April bill, and it was $11,000. Both of those will come out of capital improvement funds. Let's see.
Is it a bill for AAA for the cleanup one here?
No, I won't get that by this month.
Move to approve bills.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next up, public comments.
Hey, I got some issues I want to talk to you about. I got a problem at 308 Central Street.
And your name, please?
Okay. I'm talking to you.
But you're talking to all of us, but I just.
Trying to get your name.
So for the record, so it's recorded.
I can't hear very good, so you really have to speak up.
Just announce your name and your address.
Oh, okay. My name is Herman Esby. I live at 204 North Central.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Anything
you.
else?
No, go ahead.
All right, we got some drainage problem at 308 Central. There is some storm sewer that runs through that property. There's a culvert going through there. It's washing the yard out. The culvert needs fixed. That's one issue.
Okay.
You want to keep going?
You got two
All
more?
right. I live at 204 North Central Street. The city owns some property on the other side of that. That property is always full of water. It is a mosquito nest. It needs to be drained. I've lived over there for 30 years and it's never had any work done on it to drain it. And it wouldn't take that much to make it drain. Just need to clean some ditches out over there. Okay. I would like to see something done with these two issues. That's why I'm bringing it up to you guys. I have talked to the city manager, and he said come talk to you guys, so. I got another issue. It's my water bill. I got a water bill here. I got some copies, if you guys want to pass these around and look at them. It shows my water come on at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it run continuously until I gotta get my glasses out. I gotta fix
There's
it.
like several days. It's exactly about 3 days.
Until midnight on the 28th. If that water was running that long, full blast like that, I would have noticed it. I wondered, maybe somebody turned the faucet on outside, but I would have noticed that. There was never been a hose hooked up to my faucet. This is the second time this has happened to me. It happened to me in December. I got a $500 water bill then. I said something then, but nothing happened. Okay? As soon as I got this water bill this time, I put dye in my toilets. At That was 9 o'clock in the morning when I got my mail. And my bill came in, I put dye in my toilets. At 7 o'clock that night, none of the toilets had leaked. I checked my basement for leaks, there was no leaks. Apparently, there's no underground leak. If there was, it should be still running. I need to know what's going on with my water bills. This last bill was $300 almost, $291. The other one was $500. And they're happening back to back, and neither time I can find a leak. So I need something resolved. I need to know what's going on. If I got a leak, I need to fix it. If there's something else going on, we need to fix it. These $500 and $300 water bills are ridiculous. Okay? All right, that's my 3 issues. I'd like to have something done with all 3 of them.
Okay, we'll look into those. and
I'm
see.
excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm leaving then. Don't you gotta figure this out.
Have a good evening. All right, next up, any other public comments? Next up, committee reports. Admin and finance, total of all funds is $1,650,933. General fund actually is looking as good as it's looked in a long time, $106,000. We do have a few outstanding checks, but still in good shape. Park fund, the capital fund is $454,000. Streets fund is at $206. So we've got, those are the major ones, and there's the ones with a little bit fairs and festivals, and it was 6,000 and change. But overall, nothing weird that I can see. They're within trend. Next up, public health and safety.
Don't have much. A little bit slower month. I think the rain made the guys quit stopping cars, but other than that, it's a pretty slow month.
Park board.
Nope, just the spray park. It's coming along from quit raining. They've got part of the bathroom walls up. The slab is in, the cement, but it seems to be raining every single day.
If we get a little dry weather, what do you think what are you looking at for target as far as getting done?
Mid-June. We really want to see it open by the time we do fireworks in the
Yeah, I
park.
was gonna say it'd be nice
Yeah.
before the 4th of July, kids could play and watch fireworks. Public Works.
We got some of our batteries, our MIUs and our meters in the other day. We got one more shipment, and as soon as those come in, we're gonna get 2 guys up here from Center, and we're gonna start knocking these out as quick as possible.
We got ETA when the next ship comes in.
Should be any day now. Yeah. I just wanna get it done.
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything on fairs and festivals? I don't see fairs and festival orders here.
They had a meeting last night, but it really just about quilts.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the liability.
Yep.
Tuberculosis. We have no old business, brings us to new business.
Yeah, bill number 24-02, ordinance number 1089, an ordinance establishing chapter 250 of the City of Buckner, Missouri Municipal Code regarding temporary outdoor consumption of alcohol beverages during events. And I can speak on this too. So this was what we previously referred to as the entertainment district ordinance. As I did more research, I realized that creating a entertainment district would be a really big undertaking for what we're trying to do here. You'd have to go through planning and zoning first. You'd have to put publications in the newspaper as well as mailers. Whenever you amend the zoning code, it's a big deal in Missouri. And so the way I've seen other cities do it is where you link it to a permit. Because the city has pretty much unlimited permitting powers. You're allowed to permit a lot of things. You're not allowed to permit illegal things, but you're allowed to permit many things. And so created a new chapter because 250 was free in our code. We go to 249 and we jump to 300. So 250 was the next step. And this limits the area where this can occur in, temporary consumption of alcohol outside. As we all know that generally, and Chief can speak on this, generally you're not allowed to drink alcohol outside, but you can under exceptions if you've ever gone to any kind of First Fridays downtown or Boulevardia downtown, you're allowed to create these temporary areas where you're allowed to consume alcohol on city streets. And so this ordinance here is our first foray, I guess, into that area. And there's some specifics that I want to go through briefly without belaboring it all, but the only area this is going to be allowed in, as right now, as currently established, would be Hudson Street to Madison Street in the north, Lake City Road in the south, Central Street to the west, and BB Highway to the east. So really just think kind of this area corridor. I also put in here other areas of the city may be eligible for this, but you, Board of Aldermen, you would need to be able to approve those. So if someone wanted to do it out at the parks or the ball fields, that's possible. They would just need to come before you, and the permit would have to specifically allow that. The big kind of things I want to get into are two ideas. One, wristbands. Wristbands for anyone consuming alcohol is very important to Missouri liquor laws. It immediately tells officers and also other people who can and can't have alcohol in their hand. And same with wristbands. The idea is that we have, it's in here called an event cup. It's a special cup. I'm not saying we need to order brand new, really nice looking cups. It just, even a red Solo cup with some kind of marker on it to denote that this is an alcoholic beverage that's allowed to be out. That all, again, works towards Missouri law that says it should be conspicuous is the word they use. It should be obvious who is drinking. And you don't want an 18-year-old who's got just a tumbler like this. What you don't want is a bunch of people just walking around with their drinks and their tumblers, because then you don't know who is and isn't drinking. And to any highway patrol officer or anyone from the state who saw that, it would look kind of like a free-for-all kind of unsanctioned event. People are pouring drinks out of the back of their car. So any establishment, let's just say it's right here on this main drag, and let's say Toscano's and the other businesses here, they all want to sell alcohol. They would all have wristbands. They would all sign on to the permit. And so anyone who wanted to get a glass of wine across the street, or I know that there's the Bone Hill Distillery, I think, whiskey, you know, those places would all have the same kind of wristbands that you'd be able to bulk order. But the idea would be that wherever you buy a drink, you'd show proof of ID. You can also hand out wristbands at the entrance as long as someone shows ID. You don't need to charge for wristbands. That's kind of a more event thing that some people do. But the idea is that as soon as someone is going to be purchasing alcohol, they're going to get a wristband right then, and then they're going to get it in a cup. And the cup's going to be principally the same as everywhere else, or at least it's going to be clearly known as that's the alcohol cup. Those are the two really big things that we need to be serious about, because those are the two that follow Missouri liquor laws and show that this is a sanctioned event. If we get too loosey-goosey with that, the police don't know who is and isn't drinking. Anyone who came in to audit or a concerned citizen would say, we can't, this doesn't look official, so to speak. There is kind of the issue of blocking off streets and police presence. I kind of left that unresolved in here, and purposely so. I don't want to put something in here that says you have to have at least 2 officers for every intersection you're going to have blocked off, or whatever it would be, because that would be almost too cumbersome. You'd have a lot of officers that would be being paid. One thing for you all to think about is, if we do need officers that aren't on duty, presumably, because those officers need to be ready to respond to something. If we want off-duty officers, should think about who is going to pay for that, where that would come from if we want that, and then some sort, even if we don't have the police presence, which again, I'm getting into Chief's area here, so I don't want to say you can or you can't. It's really up to the city. At a certain point, if there's a certain amount of people, you probably would want police presence, but I think as far as liability for the city goes, you certainly want to at least block off the main drag where everyone is from car traffic, to at least make it obvious that you cannot drive down this street. I don't know if we have the equipment for that or not, again, but that's in here as well, mentioning blocking off intersections. So I don't want to give any more caveat. I'm here to answer any kind of questions you have, but I thought you should know this is kind of the baseline and the idea behind this ordinance.
Yeah, we already blocked off streets, and I think whoever puts on the event usually pays for the officers. Paying.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I know it just says a $25 permit fee here, but obviously wouldn't pay an officer for an hour.
But like, when we have the officers out here at the fairs and festivals, doesn't their salary come out of their budget?
Yeah, that-
What?
Well, like when we have fairs and festivals, we have officers present down here, I believe, and maybe you'll know, that the officer's pay comes out of the fairs and festivals event.
I believe so.
It's an off-duty rate.
He's off duty,
Yeah.
and we use off-duty officers, obviously, the guys that are on duty, I've always asked them to go through, just like for the fair, to come through here, but they're not specifically assigned to it, so they may get called away. I think if there's gonna be alcohol here, there needs to be some kind of police presence probably, but I wouldn't wanna overdo it either. We want
Well,
everybody to have
if you say
fun.
there's already police presence during the festival anyway, did you have something?
If I can. I know one of the issues, one of the reasons we were wanting to invoke this was for like the Third Thursdays deal, which is gonna be a whole lot smaller thing to where there's not gonna be hundreds of people, there's gonna be dozens, you know, a dozen or two of people. Is that something that would fit with that? Because that's not going to be shutting off the street for that event. So would shutting off the street be kind of a mandatory deal, or is that something that we could visit?
It's something that, what I wrote, this was written for the Third Thursdays idea. I mean specifically, and what I have here, it's at the top of the second page, it's number 2, it says, "The granting of the permit shall authorize the closing of only the specific streets required within the permit area as approved by the Board of Aldermen." So the idea is you guys can say, yes, we are closing off the street, no, we're not closing off the street, depending on what you think the
So
event
if you go
is.
from Washington to Adams, then.
Yeah, you can choose the street, you can, or you can choose not to close off those streets, you know, maybe for the first couple of times it might make sense to close it off, just in case it gets big, or just in case, to start, but the idea is that each one of these permits is, first of all, gonna come up to you guys for approval. Secondly, you're gonna be able to place whatever conditions you want on that permit, like it needs to end by 9:30, or the noise ordinance is still in effect. I'll get to the noise ordinance, but, in fact, that's just number 1 here on top of number 2. It says that you can, if you want, to suspend the noise ordinance, or you can just say, no, the noise ordinance is in effect, you guys can't be too loud. The idea is flexibility, so you don't have to close off the streets, but if you want to, you can. You don't have to require police presence, but if you want to, or if the chief thinks it's necessary, then you can. And the last point I'll make is that every business that's going to be selling alcohol or providing alcohol needs to be properly licensed with the state of Missouri. We don't want to get into that business where we're licensing people to sell alcohol. If anyone's going to be giving away alcohol or selling alcohol, they obviously have a liquor license. They need to have the right liquor license to do that. But again, that's on them. We don't want the city being involved in that because that's just too much headache. And lastly, every business that signs on to this to be selling alcohol is going to fully and completely release, indemnify the city completely. So if someone gets hurt, those people who they would sue would be the businesses who got the permit. They're the ones who are allowed to put on the event. They're the ones selling the alcohol. They're the ones who are really generating interest in the event. The city's just allowing its street, really, its storefronts. So that is kind of the best way to protect the city. Like I was talking to Alderman Coley earlier, we can't prevent a lawyer from still suing us, but having all this stuff done beforehand really strengthens our case how we're not the right defendant. These restaurants and bars are because they overserve someone, for example.
One question I did have, just because you and I had spoken previously, on page 2, number 5, it references the festival district. But I was thinking, didn't you say we wanted to stay clear of that language?
Yes, we did, thank you. So I will, that should say permit area because that's how I define it elsewhere. So that must have been a typo. So we'll need to do a motion to amend that to say permit area because that's how we defined it earlier in, yeah. So I can walk us, if the aldermen are interested in passing this tonight, I can walk through what that motion to amend looks like.
Okay, because we'll need to suspend for a second reading.
You will need to do that too, unless you wanted to some reason have it voted on at the next meeting, but you can pass it tonight by suspending the rules.
Someone want to move, motion to suspend?
Motion to suspend.
Excellent. All in favor of suspending the rules? Any opposed? All right, the rule is suspended. So
Okay, so I'll move to the second reading, which is Bill number 24-02, an ordinance establishing Chapter 250 of the City of Buckner, Missouri Municipal Code regarding temporary outdoor consumption of alcoholic beverages during events. That's the second reading. So the next motion would be a motion to amend section C5 to read permit area instead of festival district, and someone can just say so moved if they want.
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And then now it's a motion to approve the ordinance as amended.
We take a motion to approve the ordinance as amended. Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, and this will be a roll call.
Should, yes.
Yeah. Alderman Fry,
Aye.
Alderman Voss, Aye. Alderman Norris. Aye. Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Right? Got a festival?
And, bill number 24-03, ordinance number 1090, an ordinance amending section 215.190 of the municipal code of the city of Buckner, Missouri to abate hazardous trees in the city. This one's really simple. This code section used to read chief of police in several places. As far as the chief of police is the one to diagnose the unhealthy tree, the chief of police is the one to go on the property and inspect the unhealthy tree. The idea is that there's some trees, not necessarily, but in cities there are trees that grow so big and they get really unhealthy that they pose a damage to property or health. And so if the homeowner doesn't do anything about those trees, then the city needs to, because the city's then facing liability. And so this whole thing, this code section is found in every city in Missouri. And the idea is that if the homeowner won't do anything about it, the city can go take down that tree and then send the homeowner a bill for whatever it costs the city to take down that tree. The chief reached out to me and said, I don't know anything about unhealthy hazardous trees. Doesn't it make more sense if we have an arborist come in? And so the way I have it written now is that the city's gonna tell someone, hey, that tree, we're looking into it. If we have to bring an arborist out, that bill, whatever the arborist costs, that's also gonna go to the homeowner if the city hasn't ended up taking out the tree. Even if the city doesn't take out the tree and the homeowner does, if we have to hire an arborist to come out, the idea is that the bill for that is gonna go to the property owner. If you guys want to waive that, you certainly can. If the homeowner comes in and says, look, I'm paying to get it taken out in 6 months, and you don't want to charge them for the arborist, you can do that. But this is just creating a mechanism to where it's not on Chief Hedger to have to go out there and look at the trees. It's an arborist, someone who knows what they're doing. And it's certainly more legally defensible if we were ever challenged on that to say that we had an expert in the area who said, yeah, this is a dangerous tree. So
I don't know if you'll know, are arborists in a, you can find one of those and just Google and there's some guy that'll come out and do that, right? How plentiful are they?
I looked it up and it looked like their rate is usually 100 to 250 an hour, depending on the Missouri or Kansas side. There's some kind of licensing through state. I don't know all of it exactly, but yeah, they're available. They're available on a lot of those. Angie's list is really outdated. You know what I mean? They're found in kind of classified.
I know you can go like the tree farm in Blue Springs.
There you go.
I can't think of the name of
Colonial
it.
nursery or something.
Yeah, it's south of Blue Springs. They got others on staff there too.
Oh. Yeah, just, I didn't want to set up a rule and then you can't
find
find the
anything.
state of Missouri and they're hooked up, so, okay.
The only downside to this is, what if the arborist doesn't give you the opinion you want? What if the arborist comes out and says that tree's fine, But that's kind of the deal you make with the devil. I mean, if you're gonna have an expert, and if the expert says it's fine, then the city really does not have a basis to go in and tear out that tree. But I still think, on the level, by and large, it's right to have the expert come out and make that call.
I think and I don't know, and I need to read this again, but I don't think it's in there. If the arborist says the tree is fine, then that would leave the property owner of the obligation to pay,
Yeah, I would say so. I would say the city would probably just have to wear that one. I mean, we could try to assess it to them, but they would have a pretty good argument in front of Judge LaGrasso that they're not responsible for that.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule?
I make a motion to suspend the rule.
Second.
All in favor of suspending the rule?
Aye.
Second reading.
Bill number 24-03, ordinance number 1090, an ordinance amending section 215.190 of the municipal code of the city of Buckner, Missouri to abate hazardous trees in the city.
Take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Fry. Aye. Alderman Ross.
Aye.
Alderman Norris. Aye. Alderman Cole.
Aye.
All right, I think we have a dangerous tree ordinance, or hazardous tree. Next up, discussion, consideration, of possible action regarding provisional judge. And would you like to?
Sure, I'll round us out here. The provisional judge is a judge that we would need to come in if Judge LaGrasso was not available. I believe our current provisional judge is aging out.
Yeah, 72.
72 is your mandatory retirement in Missouri. If you're a judge, you have to retire by 72. So we need a new provisional judge to come in case Judge LaGrasso can't be here. There was some discussion. The current provisional judge says that he thinks it needs to be by resolution. You certainly could do it by resolution, and I can have that ready by the next meeting, but the idea, Steve and I have always understood that the provisional judge could just be approved by a simple motion and second by the board, because you're still authorizing it. And really, that's kind of essentially what resolutions are anyway. So I don't know if we've identified anyone, just to say that eventually you all will have to approve a provisional judge, if not tonight or next week, but sometime
The
soon.
judge said that we had to approve. not
We
having
vote
a
to
provisional
remove
judge.
the.
Oh, not having, he wants to move on with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, it wouldn't take me long to draft up a resolution saying we're gonna move forward with that provisional judge. I think that should only be a stopgap, though. We should eventually have a,
Well, no, he's saying we have to approve not having the judges retired.
Oh, okay.
And Hughes, who would no longer be the provisional judge. for the
I
state.
see, removing him. Sorry, I
Yeah.
missed that part of it. So
Yeah.
is that something that he wants done tonight?
No,
Okay.
no.
And is that, sorry, is that a state statute, or where's the age limit coming from?
Yeah, it's a state
It's not
statute.
municipal?
No, it's not municipal, it's statewide. Yeah, and it's even younger. If you're a circuit court judge, the ones that do murder trials, that's just straight up 70 years old. I believe it's 72 for municipal judges.
Okay. I thought it said other than municipal judges, it's 70.
Right, and then there's a separate one that mentions the 72 for municipal
that's what
judges.
I thought.
Yes,
Okay.
70 is for associate and circuit court judges that are downtown and in Independence, the main, I shouldn't say main, the judges you think of when you see TV, the ones that are in trial.
Okay, cool, thank you.
So we don't need to,
No, he'll come back next meeting with the resolution.
okay.
Yeah, if we're gonna remove them, might as well just do it. I thought we were doing it tonight, so I was saying you could do a motion in second tonight, but if we've got 2 weeks for the next meeting, I can draft up a quick resolution and then it's a piece of paper. So.
Next up, elected officials' comments. I'll let y'all go first. Okay, one, Wilson, his party is tomorrow from 2 to 4. Is that right? In this room?
Yep, in this room.
If you come down and thank him for his years of service, was it 40 years?
40 years he's been here.
So thank you, Wilson Jones, for your 40 years of service.
Cake and lunch.
And the other was, I was contacted by Sam Graves' office last week about there's some kind of omnibus bill that's coming out of Washington, and they wanted to know if we would be okay with them fixing the bridges out here on the edge of town. I thought we'd already fixed them, but it's like, you want to spend money about here? I said that. But while I was at it, I did panhandle a little bit for the wastewater treatment plant, so I said, you know, if I had my choice of a new bridge or a new sewer plant, I'd probably rather have a new sewer plant. So the gentleman's getting back with me. I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm seeing if there's any federal money that they'll throw our way. I mean, earmarks are back in vogue, so maybe we could get tied on to some other bill that he wants to push through. So I'll let you know as I know more, but I thought that was at least better than no news. Yeah, recapture some of our federal money. Otherwise, if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, appreciate your time tonight.